are my personal thoughts and do not reflect my employer or any company or person I'm affiliated with. Hello, everyone. As many of you are aware, some comments were made by Zach yesterday about Palestinians and Muslims. Before I address his comments, I'd like to take this opportunity to share some details about my background in hopes that those reading this post may better understand who I am, where I come from, and what those comments mean to me. For the record, for those of you who don't know, he's going to describe that he is a, yeah, I mean, you know what? Tips is the like co-owner and co-founder of OTK. That's why I kept repeating to Asmongold yesterday. I was like, dude, talk to Tips. Like, I can't believe you're saying this because, you know, your comments directly are like, you know, shitting on him personally. He's Muslim. As many of you are aware, some comments were made by Zach yesterday about Palestinians and Muslims. 34 years ago, I was fortunate enough to be born in the United States of America, a blessing and a lottery ticket that I thank God for every day. My parents, Syrian immigrants from Damascus, came to the U.S. in the 70s/80s at a time when the likes of Hafez and Rifat al-Assad were massacring tens of thousands of their own people in Hama. The sole reason I exist today can be attributed to the words of one of my father's neighbors who informed my late grandmother that my father's friends had just been arrested for political dissent and that the Mukhabart were coming for him next. Quick on her feet, my grandmother, God Almighty grant mercy on her soul, grabbed my 22-year-old father and with tears in her eyes, shaved off his beard and sent him to Jordan, hoping he would make it out. With the help of a few friends and at a time when many thought Syria was a wheaty breakfast consumed with my milk, my dad was one of the few Syrians lucky enough to be granted passage to America. To that we say, Alhamdulillah. Thank God. At some point in the mid-'80s, my father, then working as an engineer in Los Angeles, was serendipitously reunited with one of his childhood neighbors and schoolmates in Chicago, Illinois. Yeah, that's the CIA or FBI, I assume, right? The Mukhabart. This man would become my uncle, as his sister, my mother, would marry my father soon after. In typical immigrant fashion, they wasted no time, and my siblings and I were born. Growing up in the early 90s, it was clear that we weren't your stereotypical American family. After all, we were Muslims, headscarves, no pork, 5 daily prayers, and so on. We dressed conservatively, packed foreign foods in our lunches, and spoke with thick accents until grade school. Yet, strangely enough, I cannot recall a single moment in those early years where I felt different. Yes, our swim trunks could have been less goofy, and explaining what Zatar was to kids at school was a thing. But despite all that, we were just another American family in Southern California, navigating life and seeking out the coveted dream. Then 9/11 happened. For those that may have been too young to remember, September 11th was not simply a moment or a day. It was a monumental shift in thought and discourse. People were horrified, confused, but above all, angry. In a famous incident, popular radio host Howard Stern called for the entire Middle East to be nuked. Bomb them all. And his opinion was not uncommon, from school teachers to store clerks, politicians to celebrities, liberals to conservatives. One thing was on everyone's mind. We got to get them. But who was them? Surely the perpetrators and murderers who planned the attack, killing thousands of innocent people in the process and changing the landscape of modern humanity. However, to some, them had a much broader definition. And that some grew, by the way. That some virtually became all. One of the least understood aspects of the attacks was the local aftermath, specifically the experiences of Americans who could be perceived as Arab passing. It didn't matter if you were Persian, Indian, South Asian, or even Latino. If you were within a certain shade of beige and had a 3+ syllable last name, you were a fucking sand N-word that had to be dealt with. Many religious minorities were also caught in the crossfire, with Sikhs, Hindus, Sephardic Jews, Arab Christians, and others receiving a significant share of the vitriol. Acts of wanton violence became commonplace. House of worships were burned down, and random people you knew from your community were being locked up, with some never heard from again. Never forget, the first victim of Islamophobic hate crimes was a Sikh man in, I believe, Texas. He was not Muslim. He was Sikh. And they killed him. Guy walked into a bar and killed him. Specifically because he thought that, or Arizona, not Texas, I thought Wisconsin. Yeah, he was wearing a turban. But how could this happen? How could such a monumental shift in attitude and behavior occur in the greatest country to ever exist? The same country that opened its arms wide to the tired and the poor and not once made us feel less than any other American. Truly, to be born American is an undeniable blessing. And despite our governance, I would gladly give my life to this country and the people that have given me and my family a chance. The reason behind such a substantial shift in attitude cannot be attributed to a single moment or event. Rather, it was the accumulation of decades and decades of subtle media propaganda designed to produce an other, so that the powerful can continue to prey on the angry and divided powerless. It is a tale as old as time, transcending region and geography, national lines and civilizations, a governance strategy deployed all throughout the history to keep us, the people, at odds. It is this same calculated dehumanization that has led to some of the most heinous crimes and bloody massacres whose horrors we do not utter aloud. To many who heard Zach's comments, the language he used, whether intended or not, reeked of the same dehumanization that plagued their ancestors, their grandparents, and in some cases their families today. It is the same language used to justify wanton violence, genocide, and the destruction of our universal brotherhood. It is the same language used to brush off a video of a Palestinian woman and a child burning alive as a price of war. I'm not writing this post to defend the dignity of the Palestinians suffering in Gaza. The dignity does not require defense. It is a right. To those who have supported the humanitarian efforts and self-determination of the Palestinian people and all the oppressed around the globe, thank you. To those brave enough to look beyond their own anger and reach out to their Jewish friends and their neighbors, thank you. These are trying times that will test us all. Zach's comments may have been the impetus for this post, but if there is one thing I hope to convey in my incoherence, it is this. I desperately plead to all those reading to wake up to the forces around you that wish nothing more than to separate you from your fellow man and conquer your hearts, your minds, and your humanity. Hasanabi is a little bitch. Nice, man. Thanks. Those that wish for you to look upon your school teachers, store clerks, and neighbors as them, for they are not them, they are you, born to different circumstances, no doubt, but they are you nonetheless. Open your skin and take a look for yourself. We all bleed the same blood, share the same dreams, and will one day rot in the same earth until our bones have long become dust, and the differences in our beings will be no thicker than air. Please, for the love of all that is holy and good, look out for yourselves and those around you. And if you ever feel the urge and anger to reduce your fellow man to anything less than yourself, ask aloud, who benefits? Thank you for taking the time to read this. I'll be spending most of my upcoming time working behind the scenes to ensure our staff and teams are all right, and the OTK continues to grow into the place I know it can be. In the meantime, peace. I'm not reading all that, bro. Nice. A nice message, but did they fire him? No. So the person who wrote this is, again, Tips, who is like one of the co-founders of OTK, the organization that Asmongold is also a co-founder of and a co-owner of. Like, he is one of the most important people in OTK. He's a good dude. Stop hating all Jews, Hasan. There ain't no fucking way this person is being for real right now, right? Hamas started it. Oh my God. It's not bait. It's a person who, like, legitimately thinks that I hate Jewish people, all Jews, as a matter of fact. Are you okay? You are making everyone hate Jews? Walk through the steps. Not everyone is Zionist. Wait. When have I ever said all Jews are Zionists? If you can point to a singular instance where I have ever said that Jews are Zionists, I will give you, all Jews are Zionists, I will give you $1 million. No edits, just straight up. Okay, it's the way you talk, you do. My friend, I don't know if you know this, but I say the exact opposite of that every single day, including today. I fear that I'm going to be as charitable as possible to you and say that I fear you are making a mistake. There's never been a moment where I've ever said that, because I do not believe that, because that is a lie. Okay? Not only do I not believe that, but I regularly say the exact opposite of that. I don't know how anyone has even clip chimped me to make someone like this believe something that I completely disagree with. Okay, well, all this is making kids go to college scared to go to college because of all this. It's not you, it's everyone. Okay, let's walk through this. What do you mean, all this? What is the this there? Think. What is the this? What all of this? What is all of this? Think and answer clearly. When you say all of this, what's happening in Gaza? Great. Okay. So you understand it. What do you think is happening in Gaza? Do you think it's a genocide? Do you agree that it is a genocide? Because 40,000 plus directly killed by Israeli munitions and hundreds of thousands dead or under the rubble, damn near 2.5 million displaced, is not just a this, right? It is the actions of a state, the Israeli state. You understand that, correct? It's horrible, yes, but being Jewish in college is scary for them. So, do you understand what you're saying? So you recognize the atrocious behavior of the Israeli state, and your concern in this circumstance is that Jewish college kids in the United States of America are scared. Walk through the steps real quick, especially taking a deep breath and reminding yourself that Jewish college kids are also at the forefront of anti-Zionist demonstrations on college campuses. You will then be reminded that, one, Israel is not representative of all Jews, okay? Which is something that you made seem like I advocate for, but I advocate for the exact opposite because it's not true. You will also understand that anti-Zionist Jews are at the forefront of anti-Zionist protests on said college campuses and have been arrested, including but not limited to members of this community. Okay? And last but not least, you are placing the concerns of kids going. It started the day they attacked the people at the concert. They fought back. Israel went too far. I agree. What started the day they attacked the people at the concert? How can you be this fucking far off base? Israel is an apartheid state on a good day when it's not doing genocide. Okay? It did not start on October 7. History did not start on October 7. The fighting with Hamas did not start on October 7 either. I know, but this war, no, this is not a war. This is a genocide. Now, I hope you understand a couple things. One, Israel is not interested in the maintenance and safety of Jews, even in Israel, let alone the Jews that are held hostage in Gaza, let alone the Jews that are currently living in Tel Aviv, and especially not interested in the safety and security of Jews living in the Western world. Okay? They're simply not. Look no further than Benjamin Netanyahu's own personal statements and lack of interest in dealing with a ceasefire negotiation. Benjamin Netanyahu only wants to use the hostages as a reason to conduct this genocide. Okay? You said earlier that you are Ukrainian before you started off with stop hating all Jews. Will you recognize that you were wrong for saying that I hate all Jews? I don't hate any single Jew. It's ridiculous. Zionism is a political ideology built around the ideals of developing a nation state for one ethnic group and considering that the area was previously occupied by others. It requires a constant maintenance that is masqueraded as a demographic concern. It is inherently fascist. Okay? If Zionism is a political ideology, what about Sharia? Sharia would be not even a political ideology, but a application of religious doctrine only pushed by some of the worst fundamentalists, and it is not in the interest remotely of the broader fucking Islamic world. You are literally talking to a Muslim from Turkey. There is no Sharia law in Turkey. I understand, Hasan. I'm not talking one-to-one with you. I despise him. I am Ukrainian. If you're Ukrainian, you should be understanding of the plight of the Palestinians more than anyone else. It's kind of weird. Anyway. Not talking one-to-one, but started off a bit hot saying that. Yeah, you started off saying I hate all Jews, which is a lie, a gross lie. Then you said you're making everyone hate Jews, which is also another gross lie. Every single day for the past 12 months, as Israel has conducted its genocide, every single day, I have told off numerous chatters that come in here, haters, and even confused chatters alike, that come in here and apply Zionism or Israel's actions and claim that it is being done at the behest of all Jews. I rail against them on a regular basis, and I even ban them. Okay? Applying Sharia to the entire world of Islam is like the most common anti-Semitic trope, claiming that like all Jews abide by the Talmud, okay, or whatever your understanding of the Talmud is. There is no difference. It's a very easy way to figure out that someone is being Islamophobic, Just like whenever I hear someone bring up the Talmud when speaking about Jews and the way that they fucking maintain their affairs or conduct themselves, I immediately know I'm talking to an anti-Semite. Or maybe someone who's Korean. And in that case, they would be philo-Semitic. I probably shouldn't be joking in this situation. Okay, it's not you. I'm not always here. It's what's going on. The hatred is too much lately. Thank you. Okay, so now you're reading what's happening is you're arguing against Israel and Israel's arguing is doing everything for Jews. So normies think you're arguing against Jews. Yeah, but it's stupid because the normies also will say, normies will also turn around and say, Israel is not representative of all Jews. So which is it? Like, I don't agree with that statement. Normies literally find themselves in this weird fucking inconsistency where they claim